What if I told you that there is actually a simple way to lose belly fat without exercising? Sounds cliche, right? Got you. Thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Michael. I'm a fitness enthusiast in Ghana. If this is your first time joining us, you're welcome. Feel free to like this video once again. As I said, hit on the subscribe button and then comment where you're watching us from. Now, you probably clicked on this video because you're trying to or you're struggling to lose weight. Okay. Now, in this video, I want to share with you certain simple habits, all right, that is actually going to help you burn fat easily, even without exercising. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying exercise is bad, but yet, but there are certain things that you can do that is going to help you to burn fat easily, even without exercise. And these are simple steps that if you should follow, trust me, it is going to really help you achieve your results that you are looking for way faster and simpler than you are imagining. All right. So it is very simple steps. Okay. So without wasting my time, let's quickly get into it. All right. Now, when it comes to fats, okay, there are so many misconceptions about having fats in your body. First off, before you begin to think that you want to lose that fat, there are so many benefits of having fats in your body. In fact, your body needs an amount of fat to be able to regulate on a daily basis. Your body needs fats for movement. You know, the fat acts as lubricants for the movement of your muscles and your bones, so that there won't be much friction in your muscles or your bones. All right. So also your body helps in your fat helps in digestion process. If you're a woman also, it helps in the free flow of your menstrual cycle. So fat in itself isn't something bad yet. Fat in itself isn't something bad. But when it becomes excess, as the saying goes, that too much of everything is bad. So when the fat becomes excess, trust me, it is going to create side effects that you do not want for you. It is going to cause so many health complications that you might end up visiting the hospital here and there. But it is actually something that you can easily reduce. I'm not saying avoid or prevent, because as I said earlier on, you need those fats. But then when it becomes excess, it becomes a problem. All right. First of all, before we jump into those things, okay, before we look at this habit that can help you, let's first of all look at certain things that can trigger fat. Okay. Now, by nature, our body is designed to store fat. There are certain foods that we eat that causes us to develop excess fat in our body. Okay. There are certain things that we have to also look at, but then we'll look at it at the later part of this video. First of all, there are certain foods. Let's look at some of these foods. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is that foods that contains excess sugar. Okay, excess sugar. Okay, any food that contains excess sugar. And when I talk about sugar, I'm not only talking about factory produced sugar alone. Okay, I'm talking about seasonings. Maybe probably you like to season your foods whenever you were cooking. You like to add excess seasoning so that the food tastes good. I mean, I understand. But then these seasoning contains high level of sugar that can end up damaging your system. Okay. Yes, it can end up damaging your system. Now, we're also looking at other foods that contains sugar, okay, like snacks, you know, and all that. We're also looking at fries. Anything fries is one of the contributing factors of having excess fats. Okay, it's one of the contributing factors of excess fats. Okay, yeah. So when you sit down and you calculate things and you look at things and you realize that not, I eat most of these things most of the time. So yeah, that is what I'm telling you. These foods contribute so much to you having excess fat in your body. Okay, don't be scared. I mean, most people from where they are, depending on where you are watching this video from, most people, these foods are kind of like, you know, it's economizing, well, any one of them, yeah. It's quite cheaper. to afford these kind of meals, especially those in the US and other European countries where you have access to hamburgers and then all those. So these foods are very easy to come by, and then they are less expensive, I understand. But then in all, I just want you to understand that these foods are contributing factors of having excess fat. And then certain kind of oils that are used in the making of foods, okay, sunflower oils, and then the likes, right? Yeah, yeah. All these are contributing factors of having fats in your body. All right. So now that we have looked at these things that is actually causing the you to have the fats, the excess fats. Now let's find a solution to it. Let us find a solution to it. Now, before we go into this solution, you need to understand something, that for you to be able to solve a problem, you need to identify the root cause of the problem. So, and then our problems are not the same. There are so many things individually, okay? Individually, there are things that we do separately that causes us to have excess fat individually. Okay, so my problem, okay, or the cause of my problem might be different from the cause of your problem. Okay, so first of all, the root and the top and the bottom of this whole solution is that you first of all have to identify the cause of the problem. What is making you to cause that? So you need to sit down first of all and analyze. Okay, analyze what actually is making you to develop that excess fat. And then I believe when you're able to sit down quietly and observe, you realize that you have gotten to know the solution of the problem. Okay, so when you're able to know the cause of the problem, you have solved about 50 to 70% of the problem. So class is dismissed. Just kidding. All right, so when it comes to losing belly fat easily at home without exercise, okay, just as I said, know the cause of the problem. Now, after you have found the cause of the problem, you have to look at the solution. What am I doing that is making me gain excess fat? Is it the kind of meal I'm eating? Is it because I eat late at night? Well, eating late at night doesn't necessarily cause you to have excess fat. But there are other things. Maybe I'll talk about it in the next video. Okay. Now, this is not from purely medical perspective. Okay. It's right from experience and a little bit of research. Okay. Yeah. I'm not a medical practitioner. But then I've noticed one or two things and I decided to share this knowledge with you. Yeah. So we have to look at what is the cause of this problem. So, for example, if you like to eat fries a lot, you should know that that is actually the cause of your problem. If you like to eat burgers a lot, okay, you should know that that is actually the cause of your problem. If you like to eat late at night, okay, you should know that that is actually the cause of the problem. So let's get it this way. Then we come to the solution, and that is replacing those bad habits with a good one, replacing those bad eating habits with a good one. First of all, you need to understand that as you are growing, your body begins to change. The way and manner your body digests foods, okay, that is your metabolism begins to slow. So you need not to give your body more pressure, okay, by eating those junk foods. Yeah. So then you need to start replacing those junk foods with healthy ones. I don't know where you're watching this video from, but then if you come to Ghana here, there are so many healthy foods. And then it's quite unfortunate, it's quite funny that most people think those who eat those junk foods are rich and those who eat healthy foods are poor. I don't know where they have that mentality from, but then it is what it is, guys. So you have to eating healthy, okay? Start eating greens, start eating fruits and vegetables, okay? Let them be so much inculcated in your diet. Fruits, vegetables, and then meats. Now the meat, let me put let me say proteins, okay? Now if you are older, you should take proteins, but then the protein should also be on a moderate level, because it's one of the most difficult things your body finds out to process, especially as you grow, is proteins. Okay, but the protein is also good for your body, so you need to eat it in moderation. Yeah, but then eat more greens. Okay, so let's say you're trying to eat yam. Yeah, you can start eating about 3 slices of yam, and then you add more stew to balance it up. And then make sure your stew contains more veggies. Okay, there should be more vegetables, or maybe it's a normal stew, you can add some vegetables to garnish it. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. So try to garnish it with some kind of vegetables, to make it look healthy, not make it healthy. All right. Now, when you are able to do this, as time goes on, trust me, you are going to start developing a healthy habit, and then your body is going to start seeing the changes. Okay. Now, when it comes to losing belly fat, the reason why you still have the belly fat is because your body is supposed to be using that belly fat as a fuel, but because you keep eating carbohydrates, and carbohydrate is the main source of fuel for your body, so your body keeps using that carbohydrate for fuel instead of the fat. But when you begin to eat less carbs, okay, when you begin to eat less carbs and then more veggies, your body is now going to depend on that fat. Okay, it's now going to depend on that fat to fuel your body, and so that fat is going to reduce. Okay, that fat is going to reduce, and then also try as much as possible to avoid carbonated drinks. It's also one of the dangerous causes of having excess body fat. And then alcohol. Okay, all these things are contributing factors of having excess body fat. Okay, I know, I understand how you feel, but then if you're able to follow these simple and few steps, I'm not trying to say anything. I think this is something that is very easy to do. You can do this even without exercise. And then trust me, you are going to see massive results. And then you come under this video and come and comment that, yeah, you saw an improvement. All right, thank you very much, guys, for sticking with me to the end of this video. If this video gave you some kind of education, feel free to subscribe, like this video, and then kindly comment where you're watching us from. Thank you very much, and see you in my next video. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. Bye bye.